I think everybody, if they're in their period of recovery where they've gotten out of this active addiction and they're trying to take steps to better their life, they need to find something to pour themselves into. It's just a matter of finding a positive outlet for all that obsessive focus. Alcoholics have a tendency, once they get clean and sober and refocus their energy, they have a tendency to be some of the best, most dedicated, hardest working employees and things of this nature. Basically, this insane drive that's inside of us that compels us to use, if we can channel that in a different direction, redirect it into something positive, then there's a lot that we can accomplish. I was alienating anybody and everybody that cared about me. I had an extraordinarily difficult time maintaining a good interpersonal relationships, even with people that cared about me a great deal. It always was a matter in my head of, I'm thinking, well, who are you? You know, I would immediately turn it back on them because I was completely in denial of the fact that it could have been an issue that I had. I'd lost my job. I'd lost that job because the other people I worked with smelled liquor on my breath at 9 or 10 in the morning. I told them it's because I had a rough night the night before, but in reality I'd been drinking since about 7:30 that morning. So I just went on a pretty horrible bender for a couple days. And basically when it got to the point where I don't think my body could have handled anymore, I chilled out. My mom talked to me about going to treatment. And the more I'm exposed to some of the things that they're talking about, the more I start thinking, well, I wonder what I could do. I wonder if this is something that's been holding me back. And it slowly starts to take over my mind, this idea that maybe I could stop drinking and using drugs, and maybe it wouldn't be that bad. It just dawns on me. I start to think, man, I really don't have to live this life anymore. I don't have to be that person anymore. That moment, that's the most free that I've ever felt in my life. Like, I felt like I was breathing again for the first time. Like, everything in my life slowed down. Like, everything became whole. There was depth and width and breadth to everything. It was just like everything came alive. Like, I really came alive. I think the first time I ever watched MMA, I was a senior in high school. I just instantly became a big fan. One of the things that we talked about in treatment was, setting goals for ourselves after we got out. That was one of my goals, was I was gonna stop talking about it and actually at least give it a shot. One Monday night to start trying it out or whatever. Absolutely loved it from the very first time I was in there, man. Absolutely fell in love with it, the physicality of it. Is your issue taking away from your life more than it's adding to it? What's my lasting legacy? What am I gonna leave to this world? Is it gonna be that I could drink a half gallon of vodka a day? Who cares, man? Who cares about that stuff? What's really important? How have I impacted this world in a positive way? When they say my name a long time after I'm gone, are they gonna just associate me with a liquor store on the corner? Or is it gonna be, man, that dude really made a difference for a lot of people? You got one chance to get this thing right. You got one life. Wants to leave a legacy with their kids and grandkids, well, he was a nice enough guy, man, but he was drunk all the time, or he was high all the time. That's not living. That's just being alive, and that's not good enough. And I think that Recovering Me has just such an amazing amount of potential. This is something filling in a very big gap in terms of treatment options out there for people that are trying to recover, trying to get better, trying to stay better. You can't measure the value of something like that, to be able to have that kind of accessibility 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Unless I've got a bottle in my hand with the cap off, about to put it to my lips, there's probably nothing that's gonna get me to call somebody at 3 in the morning if I'm having a serious issue shy of that. But I could be in that same situation, and knowing that I've got this other online resource available to me, this other tool, this whole other method that I can use to get outside of my own head, remember that there are other people out there, get some help, get some assistance 24 hours a day. To have that kind of thing, man, you can't stress enough how important the availability of something like that is. This is something filling in a very big gap in terms of treatment options out there for people that are trying to recover, trying to get better, trying to stay better, you know, trying to maintain their sobriety. You can't, it has limitless potential.